We're so happy to be joined on the phone now by the head coach of the Converse Judson Rockets, is Sean McAuliffe. Coach Mac, thanks so much for hopping on with us, and how are things down in beautiful Converse?
Well, life is good. We're still playing football, and we've got a community that's pretty excited about us still having a chance to compete and chase, what has kind of become an expectation/dream, I guess, every single year around this place, and that's to have an opportunity to compete for state championships. And we're a week away, and hopefully we take care of some business this Saturday against an unbelievable football team, and we'll have a chance to play for the whole thing.
Yeah, and I imagine, we talk so much about Texas high school football here, but and obviously every town has a lot of that passion, but it seems like the town of Converse, their mood is directly tied to how well the Rockets are playing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. As a kid growing up here, it was tons of fun. Obviously, going to football games and watching all the great teams play, and then being fortunate enough to play on one that actually won a state championship. I think people in this area truly love football, and they love coming to games on Friday nights, and we're fortunate enough to play in a great facility, and the tradition kind of speaks for itself, I think as the Rockets go, so goes the rest of our school, and the community. The later and later we get a chance to play in December, the bigger the buzz, and it's an exciting time, and it's a lot of fun.
I want to look back to last week where you guys faced a unique challenge playing
Sure.
a district foe. It's Smithson Valley, a very good team, obviously very well coached, and a team you had already played once and beaten, pretty closely. What was your
Right.
what changed from game one to game two against a team that was going to be ready to fight?
Yeah, first of all, you're exactly right. Anytime you get a chance to compete against a Coach Hill team, you know that they're going to be fundamentally sound, and they're not going to beat themselves, and they're going to add a wrinkle or two here and there that's going to be a little bit different from the first game. But really for us, we didn't look at it in the approach that it was Smithson Valley, and it's the district round two type thing. We looked at it that it was we were playing for a regional championship, and they happened to be the guys that were left standing on the other side, and that was the approach that we took. And I've got a great coaching staff that I'm fortunate enough to work with every day, and we've got kids that believe that they should be playing late into December, and are hungry to keep playing football. And things went our way last Saturday, and hopefully they'll go our way this coming Saturday.
You guys do come from one of the toughest districts in the state, undoubtedly. You've got another squad in Cibolo Steel, the only team to hand you a loss, playing for in a state semifinal on the other side. All four teams from 25-6A made it. For you, now that you are this deep in the playoffs, how much do you look back at that district play and say, yeah, that prepared us for now?
Well, going into the season, we knew that it was going to be it's a challenge, and I was telling the local media around here, it's the little SEC. I don't know if we ever truly identified a top and a bottom. Each and every week, you were going to play a team that was extremely well coached, and their kids were going to play hard. And no doubt, I think our non-district leads into our district, and our district has kind of been the catalyst that has allowed us to continue to keep playing, because we've had some challenges along the way in the playoffs and things of that nature of getting everybody's best game, because it's a one-game season, and I think that's if you go back and you look at our district schedule, that's kind of the approach that it takes. Each and every week it becomes a one-game season. That's the most important game on our schedule, because the district itself is very, very competitive, and you need to try to win as many of them as you can if you can't win all of them, because it's hard to get out.
We're talking with Sean McAuliffe, the head coach of the Converse Judson Rockets here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the conversation, hashtag DCTF Live. Coach, you're the driving force really in the most, though your offense has sometimes been great, sometimes struggled at times, albeit against great defenses, but it seems like your defense has really been the driving force behind your success and a big reason why you're playing for a spot at NRG Stadium this week.
Without a doubt, I would agree with that. There's the old cliche that defense wins championships, and this place has been known for playing great defense throughout the years. Under Coach Arnold and Coach Rutledge and Coach Rackley in his championship run years, and for me, I'm blessed. I've got a defensive coordinator, Ricky Mott, that I think is the best in the business. He's spent quite a few years at the college level. And our kids have bought into the mentality and the attitude and the effort at which we're going to play defense out here at Judson. And really, it's we haven't reinvented the wheel. We're pretty close to structurally to what we played in 1992 when I played here, type deal. And it all starts with the guys that get to go coach those kids every day. And like I said, I've got the best in the business, in my opinion, and Coach Mott and the rest of the guys on the staff on the defensive side of the ball have bought in hook, line, and sinker to our philosophy and how we're going to go about coaching these kids and get them to play with an exceptional effort and with great technique. And I think I'd like to say I had a hand in doing that. I just coached the defensive line, and it is true. As our guys go on that side of the ball, it tends to stimulate the other side of the ball a little bit, vice versa.
And of course, you do have a guy on the other side who's turned into a real special player. Just a sophomore, your quarterback, Julon Williams. Right. This is a kid we saw playing as a freshman, and we said, okay, this kid could be something special. From your perspective, having watched him week in, week out, what has been the difference between Julon last year and this year?
I think there's a confidence factor. Last year he was a pretty confident kid for being 14 years old, but I think at times, there's some processing that occurs, and he's very comfortable with our playbook, and that's a tribute to Rodney Williams, our offensive coordinator, who coaches the quarterbacks, and figuring out what Julon is comfortable doing and taking advantage of his athletic abilities and putting the kid in position to make plays. So I think there's two sides to the coin. Julon has matured. He's an AB honor roll kid. He's super bright in the books, and he's got a real high football IQ. You can tell him things once, and he usually gets it. And we're at a stage, or he's at a stage in his career now that he's starting to add suggestions and some things that he thinks might work. And he scored last week on a play that was designed to go to the left. And he said, "Coach, on Monday," he goes, "if I pull this to the right," he goes, "I'm going to score. I'm just telling you." And we're like, "Well, that's really not the read." And sure enough, I'll be darned, on Saturday we called the play, and it was designed to go to the left, and he pulls it, and he runs to the right, and he ends up scoring. And I think he's just a lot more comfortable in his role of being a quarterback and being a spread-oriented offense. You've got to have your bell cow has got to be your quarterback, because he's the one that makes the reads. He's got a couple checks that he makes, depending on how defenses line up. And as he goes, our offense typically goes.
We're talking with Sean McAuliffe, the head coach of the Converse Judson Rockets here on DCTF Live. And Coach, you mentioned him a little bit earlier. You guys have a big challenge this week in the state semifinals against a Galena Park Northshore squad and a Galena Park Northshore program with maybe as much pedigree as you guys, and that's really saying something. Not asking you to give away your game plan here, but when you're watching Northshore on film, what are you seeing from the Mustangs?
Well, first of all, I hope the clock operator runs that clock really, really fast to limit the number of times they get to touch the ball. No, Coach K and his staff have done a great job. Northshore is a proud program. They're on the east side there of Houston, and they've had a great deal of success with Coach Amon and those guys. And Coach K's been there, forever. So he's ingrained in it, kind of like I am out here at Judson. So that part of the game is pretty neat. But really what jumps out at you on the offensive side is their O-line is just so physical. They're sound in their schemes. They've got an endless supply, it looks like, of kids that will play running back. And they've got one that lines up as a receiver, and the next play he plays a quarterback, and the quarterback goes to a tight end spot. So they've done a great job of distributing the ball to some very, very talented kids. And, their quarterback looks like he's as big as our defensive end. They're explosive. And I think it starts with their O-line up front. Those guys do a great job of reestablishing the line of scrimmage. And, when you flip over to the defensive side of the ball, there's not a whole lot to it. They're going to play man, and those down four are going to punch, separate, get off blocks, and they all run to the football. And when they get there, they typically hit the ball really hard, and it's fun to watch them in the sense that you can tell that they really do the little things right at practices and coach the key things like running to the ball and proper angles and things of that nature. So I'm hoping that we drive the ball for, 11 minutes and 58 seconds, and we get into quarter two, and we can look into getting a break here or there. I don't know if we're ever going to truly stop them. Maybe slow them down enough and get a stop here or there. And, it's going to be a great game. And if you're a high school football fan in Houston, I would highly recommend going to watch it because those guys do it right, and they're exceptional and well-deserving of being where they're at right now.
It's going on at NRG Stadium 5 p.m. Saturday. Should be a great one. And, Coach, one last question before we let you go. Sure. We talk so much about the pedigree and about the history behind this Judson program, and especially at the coaching level. Coach D.W. Rutledge, Coach Jim Rackley. I mean, luminaries, legends in the Texas high school football realm. For you, as an alum, as a guy who won a state title in 1992, how special is it for you to be coaching your alma mater with those names behind you into a state semifinal?
I tell people all the time, I'm a blessed guy. The good Lord's kind of looked out after me, and to have this opportunity to come back to my alma mater has been an amazing deal. And I'm blessed that I work with 13 other men that love our kids and believe in making them better people first. And I inherited something that has been special for a bunch of years. We still got the sign hanging up that says, "Do your best, don't sweat the rest, let the winning take care of itself." And it's the same sign that was there 20-something years ago. And, I haven't tried to reinvent the wheel or make fire any hotter. We're just trying to uphold the legacy of two of the best that will probably ever be in this, our profession. And it's, I don't have a whole lot of time to sit back and reflect because we're moving on and trying to win the next one. But it's a neat deal. I'll tell you where I get tickled a little bit is when you start to see those guys come in the back fence and come and watch us play and things of that nature. And we just hope that we're doing it with the same amount of class and effort and integrity that those guys were known for doing it with.
Well, Converse Judson will hope to add another storied chapter to their legacy. 5 p.m. Saturday at Houston's NRG Stadium when they take on Galena Park Northshore in the 6A Division I state semifinals. And the guy coaching over there will be Sean McAuliffe. Coach, thanks so much for hopping on with us. Congratulations on all your success so far, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Hey, I appreciate it. Not a problem. You guys take care.